if you ever find yourself cruising on Southwest Marine Drive, you might have come across our next guest. She has dressed up as everything from a Star Wars stormtrooper to Barbie in a box. Anne Bruinn is a Vancouver resident and refers to herself as the queen of the Cosplay Corner. And we're so happy that Anne is in studio with us right now. Hello.
Hello.
And you've come in costume as well.
I take every opportunity I can to wear a costume.
Can you describe, I don't know how to describe what you're wearing. Is this a particular character? Or
No, it's just zipper face.
And you do have a zipper.
I do, yes.
Across your face, painted
face.
around your mouth and a wig on. Mm-hmm. This is fun. Why did you start dressing in costume to stand by the side of the road on Southwest Marine Drive?
Initially, I started because I was waiting for my child to walk home from school, and I waited on the corner because Marine Drive is just a terrible street, so dangerous. And then I noticed that people were looking at me because really there's this random person standing on the corner, and why are they standing on the corner? And so I thought, well, if I'm going to be standing here anyways, I may as well have some fun. So I threw on a costume, and people loved it.
Really? Okay, so what kind of reaction what was the costume, first of all? First time you dressed up?
The very first time I wore was just like a cape with a spiders on it or something. And then I did zipper face one day, and I did a vampire. And people at that time, because it was so new, they thought that I was a mannequin. Because I have zero talent. I'm telling you, I can't sing, dance, or anything, but I can stand very still. So that to me was hilarious.
But how often do you dress up and actually stand there?
Whenever it's not raining. So that's why I'm here today. It's raining.
It's right. You're here because all day long, or just at pickup time for school? Drop off and pick up, or
right, because my kids are now both in high school and they don't need me as much. So I do it whenever I feel like it. Whenever my chores are done, and sometimes I'm out at 8 o'clock in the morning.
But why?
Because it's so much fun.
What kind of, okay, tell me about, do you get that eyeball to eyeball kind of contact with some drivers as they're going by? They must be going very slowly.
Absolutely.
I know there's so many, the way to head to the university in the morning. It's a very slow commute.
So, like, traffic gets so backed up there, whether I'm there or not. Traffic gets so backed up. It can go all the way up to 49th Avenue and beyond. And so they're stuck for light after light after light at Blenheim. And so I give them something to look at.
Do they roll down their windows and comment?
They do now.
Yeah.
In the beginning, they didn't because they thought I was a mannequin. But now so many people know that I'm real, and they roll down their window. Some people will yell things at me or just wave and honk and smile and thumbs up.
Right.
It's fantastic.
Oh, my goodness. So I mentioned one of your other costumes, Barbie in a box. And then there was the Star Wars stormtrooper.
Yes. I love that.
How do you put these costumes together?
I just make them up on the fly, to be honest. I just stumbled across the stormtrooper costume because somebody posted it on Reddit, of all things. They're like, oh, look at this, things that you find at the SPCA thrift shop. I was like, whoa, ran right down to this thrift shop. And I bought that stormtrooper costume.
But it's not just the costume. You got the whole prop. I mean, the box. How did you put together the box for Barbie?
The Barbie box. The day the movie was coming out, I made that box in 6 hours. It took me 6 hours to make them. I just happened to have these huge pieces of cardboard. I'm like, making a box.
And you painted them.
I painted them. I glued them. I stapled them. Yeah.
But you had a replica Iron Throne when you did Game of Thrones as well. So did you get any help putting together the costumes and the setups?
Very little help. The Game of Thrones chair is permanent, so anybody can stop by and get a photo on that bench anytime. Right on the corner. It's out there for anybody to use at any time. Come take a photo. My husband did the sawing of the plywood. We used plywood for the back part of it.
Yeah.
So he used his saw to make those swords, but I did all the other swords. They're foam and tinfoil, and I spent maybe a week probably putting that together.
Right, but you've been at this for 3 years. Just to be clear, do you only do this around Halloween time?
No,
really?
all year round. I'm out there all year round. Yeah. It's my hobby. Like if you were, say, a hiker or a mountain biker or a golfer, you would be doing that all year round, right? Or knitting or crocheting or like whatever you do, that's whatever you love to do, I love to do this just as much.
What about, you talked about your husband helping you with some of the props and things.
Yes.
Now that your kids are in high school, how do they react?
Oh, they have been mortified up till recently. Just pretend they don't know me when they walk by.
They will walk right by you now and not even say hi, Mom. But I mean, their friends know it's you.
They probably do. Actually, I don't know. Maybe they don't. Like, they don't have friends over. They don't know where we live, really. Well, now they do.
Any other memorable interactions that you've had with people while you were in costume?
Oh, every day I get such great reactions, so many accolades, and people, they're like, "You're terrific." I'm like, "Thank you, so are you," because thank you for taking the time to stop and say hello. That's super important. I'm so honored and humbled that people take the time to stop. It's wonderful. And recently, when I had the Barbie box, these two guys, they go to UBC. I guess they drive in from Richmond or somewhere, and they pulled over and they came out, and they were just so enamored by me. I'm like this 57-year-old stay-at-home mom who can't get a job, threw on a costume and stood in a box. And these guys are like practically bowing at my feet.
Oh, my
I'm just
goodness.
so touched.
And this is hilarious. It really, I admire your spirit. I really do. Now, we are actually coming up to a time of year where a lot of people will be dressing in costume.
Yes.
Do you dress up for Halloween?
I do, but because of our corner, there's no sidewalk, so we don't get any kids come to our house for Halloween. So I take the kids up to 37th Avenue, and last year I wore my Beetlejuice costume, and I stood very still, and I scared a few people.
What is it going to be this year? Are you going to give us a hint?
I actually don't know. It'll totally depend on the weather that day.
Right.
And my inspiration, however I'm feeling.
Oh, thank you so much for coming in,
Thank you for
Zipper
having
Face.
It was absolutely my pleasure.
I don't think I've ever had a Zipper Face in studio. That's wonderful.
And hope to never again.
You just keep having fun and making people smile, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, that's Anne Bruinn. Anne is a Vancouver resident, refers to herself as the queen of the Cosplay Corner. You might catch her in one of her costumes as you're driving on Southwest Marine Drive.